Well, good morning, everybody. Yeah, me and Gracie Cat, we're here again. She heard the camera turn on. It just come running. It's another misty morning here in Puna. Say hello to everybody, Gracie. Huh? Hello. Say hello to everybody. Yeah, she's right here. Oh, your feet are wet. Yeah, so... it's been a while. I haven't done any discussion about living here or, about land or anything like that around here for quite a while. But I see that, some of the videos that I've done in the past keep getting a little traffic, like Puna, Good, Bad, the Ugly. That one keeps popping up. So I thought maybe I'd talk a little bit about living here again. I've said before, so I won't repeat much on that, but I never had any plans. Okay. Yeah, this wasn't like Bill and Ellen going, we're going to move to paradise. I kind of see a lot of that, Hawaii's got this mythology about it, and some of it's true. Okay. Yes, there's a mystique to the place. But it wasn't what attracted us here. Believe it or not, it was price. And when you're coming from the California Bay Area and moving here to Hawaii, actually things are a little cheaper here in general than they are in the San Francisco Bay. And so this was an economic decision, but there was way more to it than that. I felt that we got pushed in here. We got here the same way Gracie got here. Yeah, she just wandered in one day and said, "Hey, I'm home." Yeah, right, Gracie? Yeah, that's what she said. Mm-hmm. I said the same thing. On our first trip over here to Hawaii, I kind of got up one morning, I walked around outside, and I said, you know what? I think for the first time in my entire life, I actually felt like I came home. There was a sensation. There was something about the place that it sort of seemed like, at least, it felt like that it wanted us more than we wanted it. That was sort of the way things went. I've been around a little bit. I'm no international travel star or jet setter, but, I've gotten as far away as the two countries north and south of us anyway, in Alaska, too. I guess that's probably about the extent of my travels: Mexico, Canada, Alaska, and the U.S. But as far as places I've lived, I've lived in a few places that I kind of liked. I was born in Evanston, Illinois, up on the lake, or just a few miles and a few days from where Bill Murray was born. Later lived in Paris, Tennessee. I liked Paris, Tennessee. I was a little kid, but we're, a semi-rural area. There were woods, stuff, and rocks. I would collect rocks. I remember that. There was all sorts of unusual stones laying around. And there was nature. Yes. I remember panicking my mother by bringing her a rusty tin can that had a female black widow spider in it on an egg mass. I thought it was just the most beautiful, shiny, jet black thing with an hourglass I had ever seen. And I picked the can up and I ran into the house with it to show it to my mom. Mom, look at this thing. Oh, boy. Yeah, I never really have been much afraid of spiders or snakes. Just learned respect. Yeah, that's all. Still not afraid of them. Just respect the critters. They can cause problems. I do believe that I actually got bit at the back of my neck by a spider the other day in the woods. Yeah, I think that's what that is. Well, so I lived in Maryland. Yeah, we lived right off Chesapeake Bay. Well, I liked Chesapeake Bay at the time. Yeah, I thought it was nice. I liked the salt marshes. But again, I was a kid. I got lost in the salt. Well, I didn't get lost in the salt marshes, but my folks thought I was lost in the salt marshes. I used to wander off in there. Took a neighbor kid with me one time, and oh man, it was a panic. The whole neighborhood was up looking for the kids. Well, long story there. Anyway, yeah, then we ended up back in Chicago, and well, I lived there. I got history there, and I have some thoughts about the place that are okay. In general, though, my childhood memories of living in Chicago are really not in color. They're very gray. Yeah, that was not the best times. But, well, I've lived in California more than once, Arizona for quite a while. I've spent enough time up in Alaska with friends, fishing and even planting gardens. Can't quite say I live there, but I've got quite a bit of history there. I like the place. Within limits. Great fishing, man. All the spruce trees get a little boring after a while if you're a horticulturalist. You see a cottonwood and you go, wow, a hardwood tree. Yeah, so, well, I spent a long time in Wisconsin. Yeah, and considerable time also in northern Illinois, not in Chicago. Wisconsin was bad. I remember getting bit by mosquitoes and black flies. I remember getting my truck stuck in the snow and blah, blah, and ice storms and tornadoes, downburst line winds, bears in my beehives, deer eating my cabbages. Yeah, I remember Wisconsin. No, I love trout fishing there. That was fabulous. Yeah, I like the fall leaves. Fall leaves were amazing. Making maple syrup in my maple grove, that was great. Yeah, that's it. There are a lot of great things about it. There are a lot of good things about Wisconsin. California's Mediterranean climate was both good and bad. The Bay Area's climate was great for raising a lot of things in, but always the issue was water. Do we have enough water? Do we have enough water? Here, it's the reverse. Is there too much water? Yeah, I periodically have problems with things rotting away, But we definitely get enough water around here most of the time, which for me is a good thing. And I think, if you're living on Earth and the way things are going these days, being in a position where water is abundant and available naturally, it's a lot of advantage to that. It's a lot of advantage. Yeah, I have the house hooked to the public water supply on the deep well here. That's a good, reliable source, provided that the power doesn't go down that runs the deep well pumps. But I also catch water from the roof, which is what a lot of people do here. Now, I use most of my water catchment for fish and water plants, but the water's there nevertheless. It's here. And nursery out here behind me is getting watered right now. If I stick my arm out this far, the hand gets wet. It's raining right over here. I'm under the roof. Yeah. There's the minor birds. What do you want, Buster? Oh, get lost. Okay, so well, I gotta admit, I like it here. Yeah, this is so is Gracie Cat. Yeah, we all sort of think we found a home here. I don't know why. Well, the weather is generally rather mild most of the time, and compared to a lot of the stuff you see across the planet, Hawaiian weather is aloha weather. Yeah, we get hurricanes that move this way. There are some forming there in the eastern Pacific at the moment, but the Big Island has actually never been hit by one. That the water offshore here, our seamount, is so tall, so deep, that this cold upwelling of deep ocean water, and the hurricanes they don't do well. As they move towards the island, they chill out. Now, they do hit some of the other islands where the water is much warmer, like Kauai. It really gets hit. And it's the oldest island. Lots of shallow sea, nice warm water. But Hawaii really doesn't have that, especially the east side of this island. Just a plunge, lava plunge straight down. A great big seamount. I think they say 36,000 feet to the bottom of the Pacific Ocean to the top of Mauna Kea here. And we got around 13,870 feet or so, 70-some feet at sea level up to the peak. So there's more of it underneath than there is above. And it really does drop down just like a mountain. Well, that protects us. Yeah, so we don't worry much about the hurricanes coming ashore. They do pass by, and it's gotten windy here. And occasionally Puna does experience drought. Not usually for very long, but at this elevation, temperature isn't a big issue. It's 1,600 feet here. We seldom ever get hot or cold. Pretty much in between all the time. I don't know, it's probably 69, maybe 70 degrees here this morning around 9 o'clock. It's clouds. If the sun was out, it'd probably be a little warmer. But yeah, it's very typical that after a while it grows on you. Man, I had come here thinking this was paradise, and paradise is a state of mind. It's not a state in the union, okay? But this is a fine place to live. It's, for some reason, I'm glad, it's really overlooked a lot, really overlooked, and also underrated. But it isn't for everybody. It's in the middle of the ocean. I think 2,500 miles away is the closest piece of any other land. Everything that comes here from anywhere else has to get shipped on a boat or come in an airplane. If you want to leave, you can't get on the freeway and drive your car out of here, which is, that's part of the American dream. See the USA in your Chevrolet, Yeah, that's, so, yeah, there are limiting factors. Several active volcanoes. Yeah, most people are scared of volcanoes. A little geological or volcanology. There, and study up on it, you realize that the Hawaiian volcanoes are rather unique. They're very unique. So they're not really so much a deadly force to be reckoned with. I guess you could say they can be uncomfortable and unpleasant at times, but hardly deadly. Yeah, I mean, even in the worst possible place where houses are at, you still got, I don't know, probably 7 to 14 minutes to get the dog into the microbus and head on down the mountain when the sirens go off. Yeah, before it hits the back door of your house. We're not really in danger around here. There are inconveniences because of it. It's different. You wake up, you smell sulfur in the air, you go, well, is the catalytic converter blocked up or is the volcano erupting? It's like that. There are a lot of things that spin off from volcanoes here that are not fun. There's SO2 in the air, sulfur dioxide. that's not good. Breathing it isn't fun. The closer you get to the plume, the worse it gets. It can actually kill you if you're in too much of it. A little bit of it makes me hoarse, makes my throat sore, sometimes for days if I get into too much of it. So there are problems. It's not paradise, I'm telling you. Sometimes rocks the size of a Volkswagen come flying out of Kilauea up here. They don't get too far. Usually land in the viewing areas on top of the tour buses. But, we get... you see up there behind me, if you look on the roof of my shed, see that stuff? Now that shed was built in 2016, so we're a few years into this, but that's how much soot from the volcano has accumulated on that brand new roof since then that I haven't washed down, and I have to get up there with a power washer, because if I don't, it starts to eat through the metal. Yeah, it's acetic. Oh, and then on the east side of the house we get salt. And when the salt and the SO2 combine in the atmosphere, they'll corrode every controller and electronic device you got inside the house, Yeah, but still we like it here. Yeah, I do. I've learned to get rid of all those separate controllers, and reprogram to one universal type remote, that type of thing. So we haven't got all these, because boy, I tell you, you get one battery start to leak in this environment, and it just right through the thing. It'll eat the whole circuit board. Yeah, stray voltage and things is crazy here. As far as place to live, this is one of the finest places I ever been. It never gets too cold. It never gets too hot. When I lived in California, I used to kind of complain. I'd get up every day and the sun is shining and everybody's busy. And I go, man, isn't there ever a time around here where, like the weather gets so bad that we got to quit? I was in the Carpenters Union in Wisconsin. I used to get laid off for, weeks and months on end sometimes because of the winter in the eastern U.S. Well, it doesn't happen in California very much. Everything goes on eternally. I used to really enjoy getting snowed in Wisconsin. Couldn't get out, couldn't go anywhere. Throw another log on the fire, Macy, and pick up a book. I hate Gracie. Yeah, and I get my reading done. Man, I didn't get any reading done when I was in California, unless it was just for research. No pleasure reading. I had no time. Everything's always happening. The thing I like about Puna, sometimes it gets so wet, there's no point in going out there and doing anything. No. Just stay inside, shoot a video, plant some seeds, do something. But we do have an opportunity here, despite the fact that the weather is mild, it still can cause you to break for a while. The beauty of this environment is that our negative is really precipitation. Okay, if there's anything wrong with living here, it's pretty wet. But all it takes for precipitation is a roof. Yeah, the buildings are designed so they have adequate roof, adequate eaves around the buildings. These buildings are made so I can walk all the way around all of my buildings and the water does not fall on my head because the eaves extend that far out. Some of them extend out 12 feet, and they create what we call the lanai, where I just go outside, and even if it's pouring rain, I still hang out outside with me and the cat, right, Gracie? Yeah, it's wet out there right now. My camera would be shorting out if I was a few feet to the over here to the right. Everything is set up over here so that we can go about normal living, whether it rains or it doesn't rain, and so it doesn't really affect very much. It makes things soggy. It's hard to dry your clothes. Yeah. When it's like this, my solar collectors don't produce that much, and so trying to run the entire house plus electric cars when we get too many clouds, it's challenging. I know I've had people say, "Oh, well, you live in Hawaii, you can do that with the solar energy." And well, actually, this is one of the worst places in the United States as far as generating. Yeah, there's so much cloud here, so much rain. 120 to 150 inches of rain a year. That's a lot of clouds. Solar collectors don't pick up that much when it's that cloudy. We have the really good ones, and they do work, and we get by pretty good. But the only advantage that I have over most of the rest of you on that, energy generation is that I don't need an air conditioner here, and I don't need a heating unit. Our temperatures are always within a range where creature comfort. Gets cool in the winter. In the evenings, we get the windows shut while the sun's still up. Before the sun goes down, trap the heat in the house. It's usually pretty good by morning. Get used to wearing a sweatshirt around here at times, But we don't really need to put energy to climate control. Now, we do just about everything else everybody else does everywhere else. We have to heat our water and so on. We have an electric dishwasher here and blah, blah. But the climate thing is covered living here in Hawaii. That's a good thing. I hesitate to ever even say things like that, though, because the last thing I want is for everybody to come and move in over here. I know I see people that they come over here, we gotta bring over the rest of the family, let's bring our friends and all. Don't do it. You don't want to overpopulate the place. The population has been steadily rising, slowly, but Puna, because of pricing, is number one. This is the highest growth in all of the islands. It's right here. I'm sitting on the hot spot. Yeah, and that's too bad. It really has changed a lot, even since I first saw this place. My experience here doesn't go back more than 20 years. Okay, and boy, things have changed in 20 years' time. But like I say, there are limitations. You can't drive anywhere from here. You go to the other side of the island. So a lot of people tend to feel trapped when they come to an island, and so you have to be an island mind, I think, to be able to exist well here. And I keep telling people, don't bring it all with you, and if you come and you stay and survive, then you probably gradually become Hawaiian. But yeah, the culture is different here, and my suggestion is to absorb and adopt it. Do not resist it. I see resistance, particularly in some of the more expensive, a little bit more conservative areas to the west over here. I hear them and us, the divide. There's a lot of division. I don't see it as much over here. You don't hear it as much in Hilo. Things pretty mixed up. This is Hilo is the hub of the revival of Hawaiian traditional culture. The language, and so the dance, and so on. This is really where it's alive. And so that exists simultaneously with Korean culture and Japanese culture, and there are Mexican culture here. There is Puerto Rican, a lot of Puerto Rican culture, a lot of Portuguese culture, and there's a lot of guys who are artists, there are astronomers. What the hell? Oh, you two. Good God. It's like, Pat, get a room. It's the doves. They're on the gutter mating. Good grief. Yeah, I know I'm in trouble with birds today. Yeah, I think maybe I'll just go fly away. What do you think, Gracie? Huh? Do you want to edit this video and give up on it? I think it's time to put it in the can.